Hello there. So this is all the way zoomed. It's the best I can do. That's all I can say. It's zoomed out all the way. So I'll see what I can do. So I kind of messaged you about knitting a swatch first, just to check your gauge. And really what that does is make sure that everybody knits different. Some are tight, some are loose. And it just tells you if you're using the right size needles. Otherwise your garment is going to be too big or too small. So I almost always use a smaller needle size just because I knit loose. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to show you how to knit the swatch, and that'll teach you a couple things. First of all, I'm going to use the long tail cast on, which is pretty close to what you did. It's a good one. I think it's one of the harder ones, so if you've already figured that out, yay. And then, let's see what else. Oh, so it says to knit the gauge in stocking stitch. Stocking stitch and stockinette stitch are the same thing. And all that is knit across one side, and then when you come back, you're gonna, on the wrong side, you're gonna purl, and it looks cool, but you'll recognize it. So here we go. And I don't know, one of my hints is about the long tail, you never know how long the tail needs to be. So I'm gonna cast on 18 stitches, so I kind of go like this. There's gonna be part of my tail. Can I do this? I just wrap it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's half of it. Just flip that off, and then I double it. So that's going to be about how long of a tail I'll need for 18 stitches, and I'll put my slip knot right here. God, look at how, yeah, my hands look like my grandma. Anyway, so I'm going to cast on 18 stitches. And here's my tail. You may have learned this a little bit of a different way, but it always messes me up to start. Hold on, I can't do it that far away. Okay, there we go. I got one going. Let's see if I can do this. So you kind of go like this. Okay. How many do I have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 8 more. And I'll just do them fast. 1, 2, 3. This is really hard to do. My arms are stretched out all the way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all I'm really going to do is knit a square. Almost every single pattern will do this, but once you get used to, you know, how tight or loose your knitting is, you don't absolutely have to do this. And it also depends. If you're making a scarf, it absolutely does not matter if it's too big or too small. It's only going to be in, you know, fractions of inches or whatever, but when you're talking a cat sweater, it might matter. Okay, so I'm cast it on. Oops. Just so you know, there's my yarn bowl. So if you could just get off there, that'd be great. Okay, so we're gonna knit across the first row. I'm sure you know how to knit, but just to go over it, you put your right needle in the front of that, wrap around, and pull it through. and keep it on the right needle. Again, you're gonna push it in, wrap around, pull through. You're gonna use, by the way, there's all kinds of different knitting stuff you'll see. Regular old knit is you put this from front to back through just the front loop, and you're gonna go behind that left needle, wrap and pull, okay? And some people get really fancy using their finger. I learned how to knit when I was like super young, so I just wrap it around, and I've never wanted to change it because it works. There's no right or wrong way, whichever is comfortable for you. Okay, let me just go through this quick so you don't have to watch it all. Now we're getting to the end. So when I knit too, I like put a pillow on my lap or under my right shoulder, because my shoulder kills me with knitting. Okay, so there I am. I'm at the end of my row. Okay, so there's the first row. Not bad. This one was a little bit loose to cast on, but that's okay. It's all right. You can kind of stretch it and work it a little bit. Okay, so the second row, this is the stockinette stitch or stocking stitch. You're going to purl across the whole thing. So for this one, you're going to, instead of going knit would be to go this way. Purl, you're going to put the needle in the front leg, but you're going to go back to front. And you're going to wrap it the same way, like this. Okay, let's try that again. You're going to go from the back of it to the front. So your needle's in front now. Your right needle is in front of your left needle. Okay, one more of those. And then wrap it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring this towards me and speed it up because my arm hurts. And then I'll meet you at the end of the row. Marcel, why don't you get in front of the camera so Christina can see you? Okay. Marcel's watching the snow out the back window. Okay, so now I have one knit row and one purl row. Now I'm gonna go a knit row again. And whenever it says RS, that means the right side. That's the side that you look at, you know. See, this yarn is, this is a pretty nice yarn, pretty, the twist is pretty tight, so I don't have to worry about sticking the needle in the middle of the yarn and it making me all crazy. For some things, it's nice to have that loose, but not a lot of them. Okay. All right, we knit that row. I'm just going to do one more so you can see what this should look like. All right, we're going to purl this side. Purl. All right, Marcel's still supervising my yarn. Right, Ma? Okay. Okay, so see, that's what it looks like. That's a stockinette stitch, or knit the front, purl the back. So that's what it looks like. So for your gauge swatch, what you do is you'll do this for 24 rows, and I'll give you a cheater hint. I only ever do it for half the amount of rows because I'm too impatient, because I want to get to my project. But really what matters most is going to be the width, or the number of stitches, because if something is going to be too long or too short, you just knit another row, or you know, knit one less row. You kind of measure it as you're going along, but the width of it, you're not going to be able to change that later. So okay, so to measure your swatch, when you're done with that, you slip it off the needle, and again it'll be longer, and you measure it across. If all is well, that should be 4 inches across. I don't have a tape measure right here, but that should be 4 inches across. And then if you did the whole 24 rows, it should be 4 inches up and down too. So that's the end of this video.